Welcome into Cover 4 presented by JCPenney Emergency Show. I don't even know why I am holding this rundown. Tay and Jesse, it is officially Amari
Monday!
Amari Monday! Woo! Breaking news here around 2 p.m. at the Star. We all started seeing the tweets that the Cowboys are getting Amari Cooper, sending a first-round pick out to the Oakland Raiders. And that's all we're talking about right now. So let's jump right in, guys. First reaction, are you excited, nervous, a little of both? What do you think this does for the team?
Yeah, I think you're right, Lindsay. We're still digesting all of this news. It's still coming out, and as Jesse said a little bit during our pre-production meeting, this is going to continue to evolve throughout the week. As we're entering the bye week, there's no football game to talk about. There's just Amari Cooper. Jerry Jones does it again. He declined to comment after the game last night and declined his fan interview for Tuesday morning, but Cowboys fans have a lot more to talk about now than just the loss to Washington.
So brilliant, right? He stiff arms us, but we're still talking about it.
We're still talking, yes.
Like, how do you overcome a bad loss in Washington? Don't worry about it. I'll just get Amari Cooper and make it Amari Cooper Monday. But to answer your question, Lindsay, I think it has me 50-50. A little bit excited because you get an impact player in here. Amari Cooper, who was a former first-round pick. You saw what he did early in his career with Derek Carr out there in Oakland, a couple 1,000-yard season, but he has declined a little bit. And there has been reports out of Amari Cooper doesn't like football. And that doesn't mean he isn't good at football, and maybe a change of scenery is exactly what he needs. But the concerning part of this is, will the Cowboys be able to get him the ball? That's the part that we have to worry about, because if he's upset because he wasn't getting the ball in Oakland and his production is down in Oakland, if he doesn't come here and get the ball and become a focal part of this offense, we can see the same things kind of occur.
Here's a question I have for you two, and I'm starting to think about this more and more as we're digesting this news. You know, in Sunday's game, Zeke only had 15 carries, his lowest yards he had in a game since the Denver loss in 2017. So now you have Amari Cooper here, who is, you know, a dynamic threat in the passing game. He's expected to now be their number one automatically, but you still have Ezekiel Elliott. So how are you going to balance all of that into this offense to fit the right way?
Jesse, you probably have a better answer than me since you have played football, but the first thing I think of when you stick Amari out there on that field is Cole Beasley being open, maybe Bryce Butler being open, maybe spreading the field a little bit, and Ezekiel Elliott getting more out of those runs. This is something that not only the Cowboys have needed for the offense, but Ezekiel Elliott has needed this because teams have been able to key in on him and say, you ain't running the ball against us. So this right here, we've been asking, do the Cowboys need a number one wide receiver? I think the owners and the coaches just told you we do.
That's a great answer, Lynn.
Well, you definitely do. This offense is extremely predicated on having a number one dominant X receiver for it to be successful in the passing game. Insert Amari Cooper, and he gives you that. But there is going to be a little bit of joining together. Amari Cooper doesn't know this offense, doesn't know this quarterback, doesn't know the terminology, the language, or any of those things. So even if he comes in this week and he has all of next week, there'll still be a training process, a learning process that he'll have to go through to kind of get acclimated to what this team wants. And teams will still say, okay, you got Amari Cooper. You still have to prove it to us, Jason Garrett, Dak Prescott, Scott Linehan, that you're willing to throw this ball to him down the field multiple times in games where it puts us in danger. And if they can't do that, we'll still be looking at Zeke Elliott having 34 yards rushing.
But the Cowboys aren't signing him to not go crazy with him, right? Because when was the last time we've seen the Dallas Cowboys give up a first-round pick in the middle of the season? They just don't do big moves like this. So, of course, he's got to be in big plans, right?
I don't know.
Well, I'm sorry. I was just going to say the first thing that stood out to me, Lindsay, was not only about what they're planning for his play, but that they believe the Cowboys still have a chance to make the playoffs. Because if they still think they have a chance to make the playoffs and maybe go beyond that, then they're going to go all in. They're going to do everything they need to right now, right here. And that's what this Amari Cooper pickup is, because of the fact that the NFC East, I'm sorry, it's just no one's running away with it. So if you can get things going and you have time like they do, just, 7 games into it, they believe that this will really be the difference maker.
But it also reminds me of a time, and I don't remember offhand because we're going so fast. We
just ran in here to talk.
We all just ran in here, but it reminds me of the pick when the Cowboys traded for Roy Williams. Another big-time number one receiver came over from Detroit, and actually his style of play did not fit the way Jason Garrett wanted to run offense. And if you want to go a little bit older than that, the Cowboys, when they signed Joey Galloway, in the offseason. He was another guy who's supposed to take the top off, and sometimes it just doesn't work. The pieces don't fit. So this is still a huge work in progress for the Cowboys and Amari Cooper. I am excited about what the possibilities can be, but there's also a ton of concerns because the history says that necessarily this doesn't always work out for the Cowboys and receivers.
One thing we do know, we have something to talk about throughout
Yes,
the bye
we
week.
do.
All of our Cover 4 people, if you're watching on Periscope, Twitter, Facebook, keep letting us know what you think. We're taking a quick break, and we'll hear from David Hellman on the matter and how the Cowboys did in D.C. right after this.
We're gonna win on 3. 1, 2, 3.
John Elliott, here he goes, Wade. Throw to Beasley, touchdown. He is sacked at the 10-yard line by Tank Lawrence.
Hey Dallas Cowboys fans, I'm Danny Starek at the AT&T Media Center. Cowboys center Travis Frederick is on the injured reserve as he deals with his Guillain-Barré syndrome. However, that doesn't keep Frederick out of the community making a difference. Frederick's Steak Out for Hunger event, presented by Albertsons and Tom Thumb, raised over $250,000 to fund outreach programs like Travis's Pantry and Nourish to Flourish. Coming up, the Cover 4 crew will discuss what problems the Cowboys need to work on during their bye week, so stay tuned.
How will history define us?
The perfect size?
Perfect hair? Every box checked?
No, we set the tone.
We are works of art.
Who we are is not defined by what they say, but by what we create.
The legacy we build.
Fire in our souls.
We are strong.
We are unstoppable.
We are Cowboys fans.
Hey y'all, it me, Dave, reporting sort of live from the Westin Alexandria here right outside Washington, D.C. So you saw the game. You know how that went. That was fun. So the Cowboys are below 500 again. Can't wait to do 4 shows with y'all about that when I get back. But first, Cowboys are actually staying another night so they can do some team building, some camaraderie, go to some museums on Monday. You know, they're on the bye week. Why not? Maybe some team unity. Maybe they can hash some things out and figure out what's wrong with this offense. We'll see, but I'll be there. I'm part of it. So gonna miss the show. I'm devastated. I know you're sad that I won't be there as well, but we can all hash it out together on Tuesday while we look forward to Monday Night Football and hopefully getting back to 500. That would be nice. So I'll see y'all.
Woo! So much to digest about this Amari Cooper news, but even more to unpack in that Dave Hellman sot that he just gave us. I appreciate Dave checking in with you, but he had that nicely floral arrangement right next to him.
Yeah.
Well, the poor guy shot this yesterday after the game. Had no idea. I think he might still be on the plane or getting off. Check at Hellman DC to make sure
He'll have
he's
his
alive
tweets.
and
Yes.
okay. His tweets will be lit. But we're reflecting on DC. We're talking about the new addition of Amari Cooper to this team. Jesse, as a player, how good is it that he's getting here right in time for the bye?
No, that's a perfect timing to get in here to kind of get acclimated. Another thing for Amari Cooper is it's familiarity, right, in the offense. Well, his last 2 offensive coordinators, Greg Olsen and Todd Downing, they've been under Scott Linehan in their coaching careers. One for 2 seasons, the other one was a coaching assistant for 8 seasons with the Rams and with the Lions. So he's been able to go out there and some of the concepts that he may know and understand from those guys. So it may not be the exact same thing because there's still a lot of Jason Garrett's offense, but Scott Linehan does have some input in this stuff. So some of the things may be a little bit easier to catch on for Amari Cooper than another random dude who was coming in out of nowhere.
And you bring up the bye, Lindsay. Yes, he has time. He not only had the bye last week while he was still an Oakland Raider, but now he's going to have a bye as a Dallas Cowboy coming into this week and an additional full week because they won't be playing again until November 5th on Monday Night Football. So he will have ample time to be studying this offense, catching up on anything that he might not know, and getting familiar with Dak Prescott because at the end of the day, this is about Dak Prescott being the franchise quarterback and making sure that he has somebody to throw to.
Monday Night Football, Tennessee Titans, how many plays is he out there?
Ooh, he starts the game.
Starts the game. He's rested, he's ready, he's practiced.
You don't listen, you have a package for him, you come out the gates for him, you put the league on notice right away. What you thought we were before, after this bye, we are no longer this anymore. I wouldn't be surprised if coming out of the gates the Cowboys start Amari Cooper and the first play of the game is you going deep to Amari Cooper or some sort of way to get him the ball, to get him involved so that you put the other team on notice that this is our new way of doing things. We're not the old Cowboys anymore. We now have a legit number one, and we're going to use him in every situation we can in the passing game.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, we have a Des Bryant tweet regarding this situation.
I was just going to say, that's a great
Where are you
segue.
at? We don't have our phones right now, so if he already has tweeted, we missed out.
It's a great segue, Lindsay, because I was going to say, in the offseason, the talk was, first of all, what's going to happen with Dez? We saw what happened with Dez, and then how they tried to alleviate the void of Dez with Allen Hurns, Tavon Austin, doing the trade they did during the draft for a wide receiver. That was unprecedented. So they're trying to do these things. Hopefully Amari Cooper is the answer. If not, their wide receiver core right now, guys.
Well, I think you said it earlier in the show. They see hope for this team at the end of the season. That is why this is happening right now. So they're hoping to break the trend of hanging around 8-8 because if you have a first-round pick that you just gave up, I was just talking with Brian Broaddus. He said that's like pick 15-ish, and then he ran out the room to go watch film on Amari Cooper.
So Brian Broaddus, right?
Right. We try to get him to stay on the show. I know you guys love Brian Broaddus. Tell him on Twitter that you want him to join Cover 4.
And here's another thing about Amari Cooper. Like, we're asking, will he be able to help the Cowboys and bolster their receiving core? Right now, he's not having a really good year. He only has 280 yards receiving. Cole Beasley leads the Cowboys with 350, followed by Michael Gallup with 190. Then Blake Jarwin Jeff Swaim has 205.
I was like, he what?
Then Michael Gallup, followed by Ezekiel Elliott. So 2 of the top 4 receivers for the Cowboys teams are running back and tight ends. So adding him to the mix will help some. But again, it's all about how will the Cowboys be able to get him the ball. Dak Prescott is only passing the ball a little over 200 yards per game. Now you're talking about this is what, the 8th or 9th receiver you're adding to that room now? I don't know how the rotation is going to go.
Somebody's going to go because Jeff Swaim, we don't know how serious his knee injury is.
Yeah.
Tavon Austin, it's going to be a while. And then people like Deontay Thompson.
Terrence Williams,
not in the mix. So you're not really.
This isn't the
competition
first move.
is thinning out.
This is not the first move of the bye week, Lindsay. That's basically what I hear you saying.
You hear it?
I hear it loud and clear.
And speaking of Terrence Williams, I know this is a little bit of a side nugget. Like, in addition to him being on IR and being suspended 3 games for the altercation, he's also being investigated for a Miami incident that happened at a hotel with a girl and someone he had forcibly removed her from the hotel. So, I mean, things are piling up for Terrence, so this may not work well for him when it comes to staying on this team.
All right, so what we do know is that Amari Cooper will be coming to Dallas at some point. This was an emergency Cover 4 get-together. We couldn't even wait on Dave to get back.
We couldn't wait on you,
This is right up his alley. I feel terrible.
I know.
Sorry.
It's okay.
We'll talk about it Tuesday for you, Dave. All right, we still are going to go to OT, though, Jesse. So one final nugget from you.
Well, we had the Amari Monday and an emergency show that we had to shoot, but one thing that's going on in the movie world now, they're making a ton of remakes of movies. And one movie I think they should remake is Jekyll and Hyde. And they should shoot it right here in the Star with the Cowboys being the starting cast of it. Look how they've been playing on the road and at home. You just don't know what this team is going to be week in and week out. And so it's almost confusing and we don't know where to go.
All right, I like what you're saying, Jesse. I'd like to see that movie. Now, the thing that I want to talk about is the 4th road loss. Guys, we got to get it together. Thank goodness Amari Cooper, right over my shoulder.
Other shoulder, hey!
He'll be back for a home game, so hopefully he can get that first win under his belt.
All right, guys, this guy right here. Welcome to the squad, Amari.
Welcome to the squad.
Hey! We'll see you guys tomorrow for Tuesday's episode, Cover 4, presented by J.C. Penney.